Stop the presses because what the hell? Looks like Calgary is acquiring Simon Nemec. What? That's not what I wanted to talk about. That just literally happened as I'm recording this right now. What I really want to talk about is a development with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus couldn't crack the playoffs last season. They were right there, but they couldn't get it over the finish line. And some questions got brought up about how badly do they want to win.
And you know what? All you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. Like, I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, I'm changing this culture. These guys, they don't care. Losing is not important enough to them.
A question that Patrick Laine had brought up in years past, but was quickly dismissed by his former teammates.
Why you booing me? I'm right.
Well, now with the messaging that happened at the end of the season, it seems like not everything is all hunky-dory in Columbus, Ohio. There are whispers that Werenski wants to follow in the footsteps of some of these stars that are waking up in a player's market, finding out that they can demand trades, taking the easy way out, finding an easier path to glory. Well, what does that mean for Columbus? They have a lot of good pieces. I love Adam Fantilli. Sounds like they probably want to focus on a future with him because Kirill Marchenko's name has also been brought up.
Really great win, 2 wins and need go more wins and let's go.
And that interests me immensely. Let's talk about it.
Look good, guys, or no?
No, you always look good. You know that.
Yeah, thanks.
I've tried recording this video like 3 times now. The thing is, it's trade after trade after trade. What a day. So I'll put up the full details for each one of these trades. But yeah, first it was Simon Nemec headed over to Calgary. Then we find out that William Eklund is headed to Ottawa, part of Ottawa's way to build back from the Brady Tkachuk trade. Then Jordan Kyrou going to Washington. Connor McMichael is being sent back the other way. I don't love that trade for Washington, honestly. They're also giving up a first-round pick. But Kyrou, yeah, that's true. He got 70 points for years in a row, right? I'm a Kyrou doubter. I was never a big fan of Montreal potentially acquiring him because there was whispers there for a while. And now it sounds like Bowen Byram is headed over to Chicago in exchange for the 4th overall pick. There's got to be more to this. Chris Johnson says that Greenway might be going the other way as well, but Chicago's also sending pick 45 and a player per sources. Elliot Freeman says Crevier is going to Buffalo. Who else is coming from Buffalo? If that's the deal, that's bad for Chicago. Byram's left shot, right? This don't add up. I'll update you guys if this changes. But the real news that I wanted to bring up today was that Kirill Marchenko is being brought up in trade rumors. Before we get to that, how about a word from our sponsor? If you're into hockey cards, sports cards, or just collecting in general, you definitely need to check out Slab Sharks. You can find some real deals on here. All sorts of different eras, slabs, singles, hobby boxes, memorabilia. You can find a Lemieux rookie, or if you think that there's a real chance that Hughes could grab Marchenko and bring him to Montreal, pick up his young guns. How about a clear cut for $41 currently? They've also got their own app, which makes it super easy to submit your own cards, watch your auctions, and track your sales from cards that aren't part of your PC and are just collecting dust. So if you want to support the channel, check out Slab Sharks using the link in the description below. Download the app and see what they've got. And if you got a ridiculous card to sell, tell me about it. Thank you, Slab Sharks. You're doing me a real solid. Hit that affiliate link in the description or the pinned comment. It does actually really help me out, guys, so I appreciate it. But that trade it's confirmed. And I love how the NHL posted it. What is happening? Yeah, what's happening? Someone check on Kyle Davidson. I'm afraid that he's not in his right mind right now. Bowen Byram to Chicago with Jordan Greenway in exchange for a Crevier, a 4th overall, and a 2nd-round pick as well. Are the scouts not telling us something about this draft? Like what? So there is Chase Reed, Carols, and Verhoff. They're really banking on Bowen Byram, huh? To their credit, if you give Bowen Byram first pairing time and time on the power play, I think he's going to look pretty good, but still not what they should be doing, I don't think. Anyway, crazy. Kirill Marchenko. Okay, back at the topic at hand. If the rumors surrounding Marchenko have even a shred of truth to them, you know that Kent Hughes is on the phone. When I heard about the Matthew Knies trade, I got a little giddy. I really like Matthew Knies as a player. He seems like the type of player that has a little bit of that caveman mentality. He's going to try his best no matter what because he doesn't know any better not to. He's got a big motor and he's not really afraid to use his whole frame. He's smart with it. Then you look at Kirill Marchenko, same guy in a lot of ways. Players like Marchenko and Knies don't come along very often. We're talking here about a 6'3" right shot winger entering his prime. He's already established. He's one of Columbus's most dangerous offensive players. He's a proven goal scorer, a legitimate top-line producer, and he's a little bit of something that Montreal doesn't really have. He's not just a sniper, he can snipe, but he's versatile. If he was a center, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but he does at times fill in for a center role? No, not true. But if he was a center, he would check like every single box right now that I have. He'd be the unicorn I was looking for. So let's talk about him a little bit. First of all, he can score. Marchenko has consistently produced goals since arriving in the NHL, and he's developed into Columbus's most dependable scoring leaders. Even in a season where the Blue Jackets would be a cool team. Even in a season where the Blue Jackets struggled to gain traction, he remained one of the team's most productive forwards and finished among the team's offensive leaders. But then goals aren't the only thing he does. He creates offense. He's not standing at the face-off dot waiting for a one-timer. He drives the puck into the offensive zone. He protects it along the wall. He uses his size to win battles because he can do that. He extends possessions. He's versatile like that. And he's not afraid to get into the middle of the ice, creating chances all on his own. He's become far more of a complete offensive player than when he first arrived from the KHL. And I think he would have a lot to offer Ivan Demidov in terms of leadership and helping him follow along kind of the same path that he went. So in that aspect and in others, he fits the Montreal forward group perfectly. Imagine Ivan Demidov with another skilled Russian winger who can finish chances and keep up with his pace and high-skilled game. I even toyed around with the idea of Nick Suzuki feeding, a 6'3" Russian winger who can actually convert opportunities at a high rate. And that's because I think that not only could he play with Demidov, I think that he would give management the opportunity to float players around a little bit. Be creative. Don't be predictable. I love this. I hope that Kent Hughes is on the phone just picking at this scab, seeing what it takes to make it fall off. You might have noticed that I haven't been patient lately. And that's because I think that, Montreal has gotten into a different era. And I think that they need a little help finding a top six forward without gambling on projection, waiting for players that may never get here. Marchenko's not a prospect anymore. He's proven that he can do it. But I think that the question is Columbus actually willing to move him? I said in my last video, anybody is available. And Columbus is one of those teams that shouldn't be picky right now, but if they have the mindset that they need to rebuild their team and create a different culture like Rick Bowness had suggested, Marchenko's probably one of those guys that would be good in that room. But recent reports suggest teams have been calling Columbus about Marchenko, and there's growing speculation regarding his long-term future and willingness to extend with the Blue Jackets apparently. But it's like they say, the best time to acquire a player isn't when they're officially available. It's right before the team discovers that, that player is available. So whether he's available, whether he's not available, I just hope that they're doing their due diligence, because I think that this player is exactly what the Montreal Canadiens could use right now. He's on year 3 of 3 at a cap hit of $3,850,000. His next contract is going to be big. But looking at alternatives for this type of player, it's only going to get more expensive. And I'm thinking of players that aren't available right now, but kind of fit this archetype. And they're getting paid more than, they're going to be like 11, 12, $13 million players. So maybe Marchenko doesn't exactly fit in the cap strategy, but this is a premium player that you can't usually get. So you're going to have to pay. Conversely, Montreal could be patient. They could wait for players to come and so on. But fortune favors the bold. You're seeing other teams making big plays, big moves. And oftentimes for those teams, they're the ones that win it all. Montreal is in that area where they should be making moves like that. I think that they're still doing some of the groundwork, but the thing is, they've sewn up so many of the core pieces that you know are for sure things. And there are some faces that I'm sure that they'll shed along the way. Individuals who you think are part of the core now, or just outside the core, I guess. But let me reiterate, because I don't even think I explained this properly. 6'3", 25 years old, good finishing, good playmaking, good on the power play, decent on the other side of the puck for a winger, an offensive driver, a player that isn't scared to use their frame, a player that can win battles along the boards, a puck mover, a player who has achieved over 2 points per 60 and finished last season at 1.88. Yeah, there's just too much of a fit here. I'm all in. I would move up the list of high-end prospects, and I don't think I'd stop. So let's hope to find out whether or not they're able to make it happen. And until then, I guess I just monitor all the trades that are continuing to happen. Is there anything happening now? So let me know what you think. Do you want to hold out for a 2C? Do you want Marchenko? Stick to the plan, wait for Hughes. Or do you think a little bit like I am? I'm thinking that the salary cap is continuing to rise. Montreal, unfortunately, still has pieces that you know are not part of the equation. And those individuals could loosen up cap constraints anyway. It's not painting yourself into a corner. It's moving when the time is right. That's where I'm at. I'd like to know where you're at, and you guys know what to do. Hit that like button. Helps me out, I don't know, with YouTube or something. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'd love to have you. And as always, I will see you. What the heck? My camera decided to focus. I'll see you in the comments.
Bonsoir.